Hello and welcome to Talk of the Game. It's match preview of West Brom champion against West Ham United. There was 38 now. Only 2 games remain in the Premier League season, but different stories from both sides. Gonzo, as always, can I get your opinion on our opponents, West Brom?
Well, West Brom are a yo-yo club. A good club, by the way, a good club. Good fans, I was going to say good fans, noisy fans, usually when they're allowed in, which obviously they're going to be. It is for this game. They were allowed in for this one, aren't they? So, yeah, they're going to get the chance to Boeing on Wednesday night. Alas, they do seem to lurch from one manager to another. And in the process of doing that, the next manager seems to then go and undo what the previous manager's been trying to build. So, obviously, in this instance, they got rid of Bilic. They spent big money on Dean Garner, of course, which was obviously a big part of Bilic's plans. I know he's featured a little bit more recently, but it didn't seem like he was part of Allardyce's plans. And then sort of Allardyce has spent the time more or less ripping up what Bilic had done before. And I just think that is the story of West Brom in many respects. But they are, it's not a big club. They're a medium-sized club. But one of those clubs that's probably too big for the Championship, but not quite big enough to stay in the Premier League for any sustained period of time, which is why teams like Burnley and Crystal Palace do so well to do it sort of year upon year, really.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit of a wasted season for West Brom in some instances. They came up and played some good football in Championship last season. They came up, didn't necessarily recruit wisely in the summer, but as you said, it was Bilic that did the recruitment, and I don't really think they gave him long enough to see what he could do. So they pulled the trigger a bit too early. And then, like you said, Allardyce comes in, looks like it's Bilic's squad, and you can't really work with it, kind of thing. It's just a bit of a shambles, really, from the people making decisions at the club. I kind of understand why they got rid of Slav, but we played them not long after they'd done that, I think, because we were speaking how fresh it was about how Slav had just been sacked after drawing at the Etihad as well, kind of thing. And they did. I don't think we really gave Bilic a chance to incorporate what he to do in the Premier League, but I think they also just seen enough signs there that it wasn't going to be good enough. Allardyce has come in and he's got them playing better. Well, we'll speak about Allardyce in a minute. Before you do, this preview is sponsored by 5 Yards Online Transfer Market for football fans. If you think you can spot the next Mateus Pereira before Gonzo does, get joined up, add your scouting reports, whatever you want to do. The link is in the description below and in the pinned comments. A massive thank you to 5 Yards for the support of their channel. So, Gonzo, Allardyce, did they make a mistake getting rid of Bilic, or was the mistake signing Allardyce, or have they not made an error and it was just a little bit not enough?
Well, clearly there's been some error somewhere. Maybe they the other one is maybe they didn't appoint Allardyce quickly enough. I don't think that, by the way. But that is, they're not going to know. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. The thing is, when you appoint Sam Allardyce, you think you're appointing a sure thing. You think you're onto a winner there, really. Well, you're not onto a winner. You're just not onto a loser, if you know what I mean. So, but unfortunately, that record has gone. Well, I say unfortunately. Good. That record has gone for him now, because I always felt he was an extremely low expectation, mediocre manager who was just happy not to fail. And we've discussed it many, many times, giving the analogy of a bus driver that's just happy not to crash, a plumber that's just happy not to create a flood. You just do the bare minimum. And that's really what it is. And his luck ran out at some point. I do wonder if he'll look back on his managerial career and actually think, do you know what, maybe I should have gone for a cup. I can't keep banging on about what I did at Bolton. I wonder actually if I look back at a League Cup might have been nice. It's something, for instance, Steve McLaren, much the right of Steve McLaren, that's he's won a league cup, he win a Dutch title with FC Twente as well, UEFA Cup final as well. He's a mediocre manager. He's not kept him up.
I think I'm not sure the board ever had 100% faith in Bilic keeping him up this year. Obviously, they wanted to give him a chance because he got them up. But you do wonder, maybe the board would have been better being ruthless and just say to staff, thanks for getting us up. You've done your job. We're not going to go get the next man in to keep us up because we don't think you're that manager. Watford have done it in the past. Tranmere have just before the playoffs commenced, Tranmere sacked their manager. So you got us in the playoffs, away you go. We don't think you're going to get us through the playoffs, kind of thing. We need someone to win these semi-finals and the final get us promoted. It would be harsh, but that's what you're there to do. But I think they almost didn't do either. So, well, we'll give Slav a little bit of time, but not long enough. And I think that was the biggest mistake, because Allardyce come in, he struggled initially, but from the start of February onwards, they've improved massively, West Brom. I think defensively, they've got a little bit better. They're harder to beat. I think playing-wise, I think they've got a lot better to watch as well. It's almost not really been an Allardyce team to watch, given what we're used to at West Ham. I think he's got something like 14 points from 15 games since February or something, which is probably enough to keep you up if you were to sustain that over a 38-game period. So he's actually doing sort of Premier League stuff with them now. But the problem is what happened before that was Bilic's team, and he couldn't work with it, really. He wasn't able to work with who he had. And I have to say, he's got some good players there, Allardyce. The board did deliver some decent signings in January to give them a run at it. Sheffield United obviously kept their money and said, no, not a chance. Well, you're not getting anyone in the window. We're going down and that's it, kind of thing. With Allardyce, I think they did say, right, let's get some players and see if you can make a go of this. Do you think they should keep him next season? He's been offered the job and he's said that he's going to sort of let everyone know before the Leeds game, which is on Sunday.
Probably not. No, I thought he did a terrible job with us. Actually, I thought we should have. There's no way when we were in a championship that we should have gone via the playoffs. And even then, I didn't think we were. I didn't think we were very good in the final. By the way, I really didn't. When we I thought we were. Well, it's not lucky, Yeah, actually, I thought we were a bit lucky. Actually, I thought they played really well, and we should have stormed that league. Particularly bearing in mind we had players like Kevin Nolan, who we just signed for big money. He got the squad he wanted. He got the leaders in there. So no, I probably wouldn't. I think West Brom should start to look at going in a slightly different direction. I know you didn't particularly bad example because I know you didn't particularly like him, but Potter at Brighton or something. Just nail your colours to the mast. Go with something, or like Eddie Howe did at Bournemouth or something. Go with somebody and stick with it, because there's only one thing worse than appointing Allardyce to save you from relegation and him not saving you from relegation. And that is appointing him and keeping him on to get you promotion, and he doesn't get you promotion. And believe you me, that can happen.
I think he's possibly their best chance at getting promoted. But I guess we're not West Brom fans, so it's easy for us to say. I guess for a West Brom fan, the question is, do you A, want to get promoted, but at times it's not really going to be very entertaining? Or B, do you want a bit of a better brand of football, but the risk comes that you might be a bit of a softer touch kind of thing? And while I've been impressed by West Brom since the start of February onwards, which becomes a bit more of an Allardyce team, some of the players he's using, some of the key players are either on loan or probably going to depart this summer. And I would have massive reservations over what he can do with the ones that are left behind, because the players that sort of aren't quite good enough for West Brom are the ones he's going to be, aren't quite good enough for West Brom. They probably aren't quite good enough for the Premier League. They're going to be the ones that Allardyce has got left next season in the Championship. And I'm not sure if he can work with those players. We haven't really seen it yet. So I agree with you. I think they need a little bit of longevity there. They need a little bit of something where it's almost like a 4 or 5 year, 6 year sort of plan, rather than coming up and trying to keep your heads above the water, and then eventually you're going to drown and go down, and then sort of you go through it all once more, kind of thing. But anyway, pleasure, Maya from West Brom.
Well, I love Pereira. You know this. You said about spot Pereira before I did. You can't. I spotted him first, quite frankly. Well, I know there were other people. Probably whoever was his youth team coach probably spotted him before I did. But as soon as I saw that guy play in the Championship, I thought he was sensational, and I was a bit gutted they got promoted, because I wanted us to sign him. I put him in my fantasy league team at the start of the season, and he didn't start that well, actually. But I tell you what, he's in many respects, Allardyce actually got the best out of him, and has probably got him playing. Only fair to say that, bearing in mind I've slagged him up enough. Allardyce, a tremendous player, Geo. Just top quality. Really is. He can certainly go on and play for other teams bigger than West Brom, who also have the word West in their name, if he wanted to. Just saying. Aside from that, I'm going to have to have another look at him again.
Okay.
I know. Not really. Obviously, we've been linked with a goalkeeper, Johnston. How Robson Kanu, he scored a couple of times. I can't even believe it. I mean, as for him to score. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that before we played him because you know what'll happen. Obviously, Diagana. Well, it's just weird, isn't it? Really, we were all beside ourselves and angry that he'd been sold, and now Geo. You have to say that 18 million rising to 20 million at the moment looks like pretty damn good business. It has to be said. They got a good goalkeeper, and Maitland-Niles has done well.
Yeah, I think Johnson's had a really good season, as has Pereira. The sort of the West Brom players I like that I wouldn't mind at West Ham next season don't really belong to West Brom, and I think that's their big problem. Ainsley Maitland-Niles has been a very clever signing for them. He's done all right there. I expected him to do better, admittedly, but I still think the problem with him is he's not really got a position. He can play in so many positions. It's too easy to move him about. It's almost like you might play well centre mid, but then all of a sudden you need cover on the right midfield. Well, we'll put Maitland-Niles out there. He can do it. And he's gone out there, and it's difficult for him. He needs a position. He's jack of all trades, master of none at the minute. I think he needs to become a master of a position. I think Conor Gallagher I would love at West Ham, on loan from Chelsea. I think whenever I watched him, he looks very sort of a bit green, a bit eager at times, kind of thing. He runs around as if he's got a free role in the team, and he's not the most disciplined player in the league. But I do think he's a joy to watch. He can carry the ball for a long distance, got a bit of trick on him, can dribble really well. I think the striker that they've got in on loan, Diang, has been quite a good signing, actually. I've been quite impressed by him, and I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham were to get linked with him over the summer. Same with the midfielder they got in January on loan, Yoksulu. I think he's come in and taken to the Premier League really well. He's a Premier League midfielder that just fits the way that the game's played in England too. So they've got really good players, but the problem is, I don't think any of them will be at West Brom next season because either they're not their player or they're going to get picked up in the summer, kind of thing. So anyway, you ready to talk about West Ham?
Yes, please.
So the team news is pretty much as you were for the Brighton game. Masuaku and Lanzini don't look like they're going to feature in the next two games, but everybody else is back. Mark Noble was on the bench as well, so he is in contention for a start, possibly. So with all that in mind, Gonzo, would you make any changes to the formation? I assume not back four for you?
Yeah, I am making a change. I'm writing it down now, actually. Yeah, I am making a change. Oh,
is this before we get into this? Is it just a case of something needs to change? It needs freshened up in some way.
Well, it's your fault, actually, because you said Sam Allardyce has now got a blueprint and he's going to go and do what everyone else has been doing. And he's going to think, I know how to beat West Ham, so I think we need to throw him a curveball.
So you'd go to three at the back?
I would go to three at the back.
Curveball Allardyce.
Yeah, I would. So I'll tell you me three at the back right now.
Please do.
I will. I'm about to.
It's part of the preview, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll start with a goalkeeper. As Fabianski.
That's then a shot.
Yeah, well, we've got a choice of many. The rest of them are on the bench. I'm going to go with Diop, Ogbonna, and Cresswell. I'm dropping Dawson. You've noticed that. I feel that Ogbonna's got to play centre. Oh, sorry, it's not. I've done it wrong. No, Dawson's in the centre. Oggy's on the left. Diop's on the right. Sorry, I got it wrong. Cresswell's playing left wing back. Soufal on the other one.
Well, I'll keep the back four as it was. I am denied about the Dawson thing because I'm not his biggest fan, but I thought he did all right against Brighton, kind of thing. And Diang is a bit of a handful up front for West Brom. I don't know if he's going to start up front though. It could be Robson Kanu as he did against Liverpool in their previous fixture. But I would keep the back four unchanged for this one. Now, moving into midfield, how would you like to see this team line up?
I'm going with Rice and Souček in there, in the middle. And now, this is a bit difficult, actually, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go and try and do them, basically. So I'm going to have, just in front, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have Lingard just in front of him. And I'm going to have Ben Rama next to Antonio.
Saeed up front.
Pretty much. Well, in a number 10 role, yeah.
Interesting. But I'm going to annoy a few people because I too would have Antonio up front, and I'd have a 3 behind of Antonio of Bowen, Lingard, and Ben Rama. The only reason for put Bowen in is because of lack of options, really. It's sort of, he picks himself by default because the reason is in centre midfield I'd have Rice and Fornals, and I'm not dropping Souček. Before someone says, how can you drop? Oh, shut up.
How can you drop Souček?
I'm not dropping him. I think he looks knackered. I think he just looks absolutely shattered. And we've got an important game against Southampton on Sunday as well, regardless of how this one goes. And I have concerns over Rice being able to play 180 minutes in essentially, well, I have concerns over Rice playing 3 games worth in the space of 8-9 days. So for that reason, I think Rice could possibly only start one of the two. And I just think Souček's looked tired. I don't think he's been in the greatest of form either. I think against Brighton, I thought he was quite poor. I think he's limited on the ball sometimes when we're in possession. I don't think he creates enough. And I think Fornals looked good in centre midfield when we see him play centre midfield. I think Lanzini looked good against Everton in centre midfield. And I think there's similarities between Lanzini and Fornals. I don't think there's any similarities at all between Lanzini and Thomas Souček. And I just think we're coming up against a side that are well organised. We'll work their nuts off, regardless of they're relegated. Allardyce has got them working hard. They've worked hard against Liverpool as well. I don't know what they're playing for, whether it is a move away in the summer, and it doesn't really matter. If Allardyce is saying to Pereira, you want out of here, you're going to have to perform. That's okay. That gets him motivated and scoring goals for the next 2 games. That's okay. That's acceptable to do. Every player will have their own motivation. But West Brom, they're not giving up. Sheffield United haven't given up. They've done us a favour on Sunday by beating Everton. They've got nothing to play for. And sometimes when the pressure's off, they actually play better. There's also going to be fans back as well. Now, we'll get onto the fans in a second. But I just want to see more creativity from the centre of the pitch against West Brom, because I think they're going to be difficult to break down at times. And I think between Rice and Souček, I don't think we've got enough creativity. And Souček's biggest advantage for West Ham was getting him in the box. And we're not doing that at present. We've removed it. And sometimes, like against Brighton, you look at the bench and you think we're going to need to change something up. And we've got little options. Souček would be the first substitute on, regardless of how the game's going. So maybe it's a bit harsh on Souček, but I just think he looks knackered, Gonzo. I just think I've got concerns over Rice and Souček playing Saturday as they did, tomorrow night, and then Sunday again. I'm not sure that they're performing as they did earlier on in the season.
Yeah, you definitely have dropped Thomas Souček, by the way. That was a bloody long excuse to basically say that you've dropped him.
I'm resting him. And then on Sunday, spoiler alert, I'd probably put Souček in and take Rice out.
Spot the preview.
Anyway, I just think so. Anyway, the fans are back, Gonzo. The fans are back. 25% of their capacity, which is 20.
About 400, isn't it? Up at West Brom.
What's their capacity? It's about 28,000. So there must be about 6,500 home fans there tomorrow night. 6,500 West Brom fans back tomorrow night, roughly. Will that change the game, do you think?
Maybe. I guess so to some extent. I'm not sure. I mean, it's going to be a weird dynamic because they're going down to getting relegated, but I think it will just be a celebration of being able to leave the house. So that will probably supersede any sort of negative feelings they might have about being relegated. They're going to be pleased to be out. They'll be pleased to celebrate their team. They'll be pleased to sing. They'll be pleased to be amongst each other and be having a day out. And it's so incredibly important, actually. And I'm pleased the fans are going to be. I know there'll be none of ours there, but you know what? I'm pleased. It's long overdue that the fans are allowed to go back to the football again. Massive, actually. So will it have an impact on the match? I don't think. I think it would impact us less than anyone in many respects, actually, because I have a feeling our away form this season, if all fans were back, our away form would have been pretty good. I just think Moyes has got to shape me up to be one of those teams anyway. So, you know what? Bring it on, mate. Bring it on. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm delighted they're back as well. The games that we've seen over the last few weeks with fans back has made a big difference. Like the FA Cup final, and you saw the Leicester players celebrate Tielemans' goal, and you just thought, good on them. I'm glad that lot there were able to witness that goal, and I'm aware that the FA Cup final, a 25-yard winner, the FA Cup final, slightly different to watching an already relegated West Brom at West Ham.
Watching Hal Robson-Kanu score an own goal to make West Ham win 1-0. Yeah, it's not going to be the same.
There will be a novelty factor in it for them, though. They'll be delighted just to be back. I think most West Brom fans gauging sort of their opinions throughout the season on various videos and stuff. I think most of them expected this season to be a season of struggle anyway. So the fact they've gone down probably isn't a massive surprise to them or anyone else, really. They're massively tipped. I mean, I had them 20th in my prediction. I got it wrong. They finished 19th. But to be fair, they've won. Sheffield United have won more games than them this season. So, but I think the fans will be back. They'll be delighted to be back. And West Brom, like I said earlier, West Brom are playing some all right football at the minute. If Allardyce feels his strongest team or a good team out there, he's already said that Dean Ganna's going to be starting or likely to be starting the next 2 games because they're already down. He's going to have to lose. He's going to chuck him in. But if he's got Dean Ganna playing, Pereira playing, Gallagher playing, there's going to be some possible entertainment on show for the home fans. And this is a type of time, this game is Sunday, where a player does a step over, the fans are going to go mental for it. They're going to be, yes, that's
all right. Ben Rama will do plenty of those for him.
Yeah, we'll entertain them. But yeah. I think the fans being back will help every single home team for this one. Are you confident? Feeling good? Well, first of all, it was 10 cup finals, then it was 9, then it was 8, 6, 5, whatever. We've now got 2 cup finals left.
Yeah, you said, am I confident? You were going to say, am I feeling good?
I was going to ask about confident, and I forgot that I wrote down that we've got cup finals. I've tried to reverse and ask you about the game importance rather than how you're feeling.
I'm feeling good. Thank you for not asking. And am I confident? No, I'm not confident at all for this one.
Why not?
Because we keep mucking it up. We keep mucking our cup finals up. Actually, we've I think we look knackered. It's funny you said that about Souček. I thought he was the only person that didn't look tired. Well, everyone else looked completely knackered. I think the season is just too long for our squad. I think they've probably got their tails up and nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. We have had for a little while. And it seems like we can't quite cope with the pressure. So, no, I'm not confident at all.
I'm a bit the same as you, actually. I'm optimistic. And we'll get onto predictions in a minute, but I'm worried. I am worried because for the reasons that you said, they've got nothing to lose. I think they've been looking all right, actually. I think there are some players looking to secure their future, and it might not be away from West Brom. Like I said, Gallagher and Maitland-Niles at the minute are going back to Chelsea and Arsenal, probably to struggle to get on the bench kind of thing. Those are two players. They'll be looking to get away and trying to secure a move back to the Premier League somewhere. So there's a lot of players in there. But also, if Allardyce does remain next season, there are other players in that squad. Their contracts might be coming to an end. I don't know what the situation is for some of them, but I'd imagine players like Kyle Bartley or Townsend or that might be thinking, I need to buck up my ideas here, because if this geezer's around next season, the type of players that will stay at West Brom next season, what I'm trying to say, need to impress. Grady Dean Gannon needs to show Allardyce, you've been wrong this whole time, and I also say to West Ham, you were wrong to get rid of me. There's a lot of motivation in that team for West Brom, and it's not staying in the Premier League, it's for their own personal reasons. And we've struggled a lot lately, and you said the season too long for our squad. I think it's slightly different, which is our squad isn't big enough for the season, and I think it's just catching up with us. And I think everybody looked tired against Brighton. You know, at one point there was that corner, and it zoomed in on Declan Rice, and the guy looked like he wanted to collapse to the floor. And I'm aware he's back from an injury kind of thing, but he was the only player. Every player just looked struggling. You know, 10 minutes to go, we were trying to get a winner, and Saeed Benrahma was the only one running about with any energy about him. The rest of them just looked gone. So I am concerned. But Gonzo, a massive game. Everton kick off before us though tomorrow night. Everton kick off at 6 o'clock and we kick off at 8:15. So there may be a bit of a change regarding our circumstances. But as it stands, Everton are 3 points behind us, 2 games to go. We have a superior goal difference. So if Everton fail to win, we will know tomorrow before kick-off that a win secures us European football. Big game.
I guess so. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. In many respects, I don't know how you can in the modern day. You can't take people's phones off them. In fact, I would. If I was a manager, I would take people's phones off them. I bloody would. I'll tell you
Everton won.
I'd run the place like a prison, quite frankly. But I don't want the distraction of that. I don't want that lot. I say that lot, the team. That's how I'd refer to it if I was a manager. You lot. I don't want you lot worrying about that Everton game and using it as a get out of jail free card. So you got to concentrate on your own game, regardless of what Everton are going to be doing. I don't want you thinking, oh yeah, that's lovely. We got the we're going to go and whatever. We're going to get 7th and play Timbuktu in the European Mickey Mouse League next season. No,
right, leave it out.
No, all right. I want them not to know about that result and just to concentrate on beating West Brom.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. But as a West Ham fan, it's impossible to do that. I'm going to be watching the Everton game prior to the West Ham and prior to doing the build-up show with you. I will be watching that Everton game. When we are doing the build-up show, the Everton game will still be ongoing. I will be keeping an eye on it and praying that Wolves do us a favour. Simple as that, really.
Well, sorry, Gio, you're allowed to watch it.
Oh, I'm not part of that lot.
I'm not letting the players. Yeah, them lot. Horrible, you horrible mob. So not letting them.
What are we then? If that's that lot, what are we? This lot?
Us lot.
Okay, us lot. We'll go with that. That's gender neutral as well. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, us geezers. That's not gender neutral.
Us lot. That's a 2021 grouping of males. I think it. Anyway, prediction, please. Can I get your score prediction?
Yeah, I think it will be. Thank goodness I'm not doing this live. I can't see the hate. West Bromich Albion 0, West Ham United 0. 0-0. We can't score a goal at the moment. Well, we can. Obviously, Ben Rama's got a lovely one, but it doesn't look like we're. I used to have this rusty old tin opener that lost its blade. I tell you couldn't open anything up with it. Take hours. That's a bit like our attack at the moment.
I will say West Bromwich Albion 1, West Ham United 2. I'm going to go for their away win. Anyway, it's a 8:15 kickoff, which means, Gonzo, we will be live at what time?
We will be live at 10 minutes past 7.
We will be live at 7:10 tomorrow night for the build-up show. We'll be taking a look at the West Brom team, the West Ham team, and being very interactive with the live chat. So hopefully you can join us. We can have a chit-chat among us. Anyway, if you enjoy this preview, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow night.